Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is EKB, EKB TV, and you're watching while I'm in Japan. And I'm kind of in a creative rut, so I decided just to react to some people who are in Japan. Look, he did it too. Don't get upset with me. No, but seriously, this is a YouTuber that I really enjoy his channel, and I started watching him actually before I got to Japan. And I've just been following the show. I just kind of like his personality. I think the dude is real down to earth, and he's really vulnerable. He kind of expresses himself really well on these shows, and it gives some really interesting information. So let's take his perspective so I can give you some of my perspective as a native Japanese to a foreigner in the country who is new to these things and experiencing a lot of the things that he's talking about. Let's not waste a lot of time. Let's get into it.
Hello guys, I gotta admit, I am in a creative rut, so I've decided to just throw away a bunch
See
of
what I
random
did there?
facts about Japan in one video. Yeah, I'm doing it yet again. Will not be my last time, I promise you that. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Shall we? Why the heck am I wearing my school uniform at the age of 25? So if you follow this channel, chances are you already know there are two different
does
types
well to
of
be 25,
uniforms
man. I
for
love
boys
it.
in Japan, namely Gakuran and Blazer. Gakuran is the more traditional military looking one with a stand-up collar, and Blazer, as the name itself suggests, is a blazer jacket type of uniform. A lot of schools in Japan,
See
especially
both of these
private
all the
ones,
time.
have been shifting towards blazer uniform because it gives you more of a modern Western kind of look, so they can attract more students, which means more profit for the school. But there's actually another factor why a school would want to change their uniform to blazer. That is, they can't handle the bad students not wearing their uniforms properly. Yeah, this is actually a thing. With the rising popularity of Yankee manga and Yankee movies, a lot of boys would wear their Gakuran improperly, trying to give a badass look. There are so many ways you could wear Gakuran, which I'm not gonna get deep into in today's video because I don't wanna make this video an hour long. But anyway, with the blazer uniform, you can't
I like the
really
fashion
do much.
change. Kinda
Maybe
reminds me of
loosen up the
Fresh
tie,
Prince.
but that's pretty much it. It wouldn't give the same Yankees as Gakuran does. You know, you may not believe this is true because no school would admit and say, この度私たち教員は香港のよくわからない校則を生徒に従わせることができないため制服をブレザーに変えることとなりました。Right? But if you take a look at the school district in my hometown Southern Osaka for example, you would see that only smart high schools have Gakuran uniforms and the rest have the blazer uniform. Do you think this is just a coincidence? I don't think so. In fact, my middle school was such a typical rough school, and in my freshman year, they finally made a decision to change our uniform to this blazer one, and I heard from my teacher firsthand that they have their life so much easier now because of the change. So next time you see a Japanese student, especially when they are from a public school, you could make a little judgment on how smart they are based on their uniform. Now you know.
Okay. So it's a lot of really interesting information just in that segment alone. First of all, I think it's funny that he still calls us Yankees. I think that's hilarious. And if you look on the license plates on the cars, for the Gaijin and Americans like myself, we have a Y up there for Yankee. Now, what I want to talk about a few things here is just because I didn't really want to interrupt him. I think he's giving some really good information. But the whole thing about the uniforms and how they are kind of showing like a intelligence status based on that, I think is informative. And I've seen the changes in the uniforms just in the time that I've been here. You can see different areas, and I'm trying to figure out where the schools are and, you know, which school is which. So that's going to be something for me to kind of take from this video and take out into the real world. But not just with the males. One thing that I've always wanted to talk about are especially the young girls and the teenagers that walk around in Japan and the uniforms that they have to wear. It's not just like, it's dead of winter. It's winter right now. It's cold as hell outside. Cold as hell? Anyway, they wear the blazers and the ties as well too. Very nice uniforms. But they also wear these really short gray skirts all year round. I don't know about that, man. It's always been a little kind of creepy to me. And if you guys have kind of dug into the internet, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Let's get back in the shun.
So if you ask a Japanese person, what something are you proud of about your country? One thing many people will bring up is its advanced technology. Yeah, Japan has still managed to retain its high-tech image from the 90s even today. I mean, this is
In
true
some
to
parts
some
of this is
degree.
true. I
Japanese
agree.
people have invented a lot of things. For example, the bullet train,
Dope.
the fridge that can open from both left and right sides,
Also dope.
両方から分けれません. The bathtub that can automatically fill up itself and also reheat the water once it gets lukewarm.
I have this too. I love this thing. But it's a bitch to try to figure out when you don't speak a lick or read a lick of Japanese. The fuck you just say? Oh.
The government using fax machines to report COVID-19 cases in 2021. Oh wait, これは違うか. Yes, we take pride in these inventions. We are very proud. I missed a lot of these things when I lived in the States as a student. But there's one thing I wanted to explore the myth about in today's video. That is the Japanese toilet. No, it's not about the bidet or the heating toilet seat. I love these features to the core. But this guy right here. So this sink is attached to the toilet so you can wash your hands here and reuse the water for the next flush. Great intentions, right? But sadly, different ramification. Because I'm here to tell you guys as a Japanese person, we don't wash our hands like that. Actually, this type of toilet is dying out. More and more people are buying toilets without it. And here are the reasons why. First, there's not enough space to wash your hands thoroughly, so when you wash your hands, the water just splatters everywhere.
Facts.
And two, I heard this from my plumber friend, but the tank itself isn't made to be filled with, dirty, soapy water. So washing your hands here could actually damage the tank. And finally, whether it's actually hygienic or not, it's not pleasing to wash your hands on top of a toilet. Am I making any sense? Like, it's water coming from a toilet. If you ever visit your Japanese friend's place and use their bathroom, don't feel pressure to use the sink on the toilet. I'm here to tell you, it's completely normal to find it kinda unhygienic. So don't be afraid to use their sink in the kitchen or somewhere else. If you ever...
Now, I do want to tell you that this is what my bathroom looks like. Let me show you guys something. Okay, so this is my hallway. And this is my bathroom. So like in the video, I have one of these toilets. Now, it's not very much space in here. And I'm on the upstairs floor. So you mean to tell me I need to walk all the way out of here with dirty hands, go all the way into my kitchen, or downstairs, just to wash my hands? Not gonna be able to do it. Toilet bathroom it is. All right. Back to Shun.
If you ever stroll around the street in Japan and find these really cool looking traditional places that claim to be a high-end restaurant or ryokan, aka Japanese style hotel, be extra careful because there's a great chance that that is actually a place for guys to pay money to do the thing. What? Why would they confuse us like that? Why would they claim it's a restaurant or hotel?
Yo, that's
Simply not.
wow.
Okay, let me explain. So in Japan, doing the
I knew
thing in
about
an
that, though.
exchange for money is very much illegal.
No questions.
And yet, as you guys may already know, it's very prominent here. So here's the very smart strategic way they came up with to circumvent the law. First, claim it's a restaurant or ryokan. Yes, these places actually operate as restaurants or ryokans. They even organize themselves into an official restaurant trade association. And next, let your customer and the worker fall in love with each other and do the thing in a matter of
that's
15
crazy.
minutes. Any contact between the customer and the waitress, should I say, is considered as a private.
I love the way the
affair
Japanese
under
kind of
government's
sneak in
literal
loopholes. It's a
interpretation
lot of
the
those.
law. Yes, as stupid and superficial this sounds, this is very much the case here in Japan. And that is why once you're done, they would serve you some sort of snacks or a can of drink as a cover-up proof that it is a place to eat and drink. I'm not the
Savvy.
most knowledgeable person because I never go there, but if you're walking around and an old lady tries really hard to call you into the place, chances are you are in Japan's red light district, so please be careful.
Thing about that is, it's really hard to tell which is which. Like you can't like if you're just in a normal neighborhood or if you were in a seedier place, like you can't tell the difference sometimes. And from restaurant to restaurant, from store to store, massage parlor, you never know what you might walk into. Got to keep your guards up.
So Japan has a great reputation for having so many social rules. And one example of billions of such is that you cannot make phone calls on the train or any type of public
I still get
transportation,
nervous about
really.
this.
In a society where everyone is constantly taught to mind their own business and respect others, it does kind of make sense that you are not supposed to disturb the peace on the train by making phone calls. But as a matter of fact, people talk on the train all the time. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've always wondered, why is it that while it's completely okay to have a conversation with your friends, it's not even remotely acceptable to make phone calls even if you use your softest voice possible? Well, I did some little research for you guys, and it turns out a lot of Japanese people actually have the same question, and although there was no
Imagine
official
how we
statement
feel.
from the train companies themselves regarding this matter, the consistent answer many articles appear to share is that people can let the sound of a conversation between two or more people pass just as some noise, but if you can hear only one person talking, automatically your brain's gonna be like, hey, something unusual is happening, pay attention. Thus, it interferes with other people. I don't know, to be honest, it sounds a little bit far-fetched, but a part
That
of me
actually
is
kinda
also
makes sense
kinda
to me.
agreeing to an
I
extent.
get it.
So, what do you guys think? Is this reasoning good enough to ban making phone calls in public? But anyway, at least now you guys know the reason behind it, so yeah. So, another Japan
So I want to pause them right there. It's really interesting on the Japanese trains because they are quiet, like scary silent. It's crazy. Like nobody really talks. Even the kids are kind of quiet up there. I would only imagine what it would be like if they were in, if the trains were like they are in New York, where it's like I can only imagine how the Japanese would react if they actually had to deal with that on a daily basis on a train. I kind of don't mind them keeping it quiet, man. Those train rides are kind of cool. They get kind of boring sometimes, but hey, it's a trade-off, you know?
Another Japan stereotype that I wanted to demystify in today's video is you cannot leave food on your plate. I am so tired of hearing this. I mean, don't get me wrong, yes, it's a polite manner to finish your food, but it's not the end of the world if you get full. You know what I mean? We are all humans. Just don't waste your food intentionally. But that being said,
That's an
there's
interesting
one
one.
exception. So while it can be accepted to leave little bits of food on your plate, for most of us, it's never acceptable to leave even a few grains of rice. This actually comes from this belief that there's 7 gods in each grain of rice. No, I'm not making this
Not
up.
at all.
I mean,
It's a
we
lot
are
of
taught to appreciate
spirituality
all
in
kinds
Japan.
of food no matter what.
Not
and do our
religious,
best not to
but
waste them. But
it's
I
a
don't know,
blurred line.
for some reason, we have a special place for rice and exercise extreme caution not to waste them. For many Japanese people, including myself, this is understandable. You got full. But this is not acceptable because it's just out of laziness. Like, there's no way
How
that
you supposed to
cannot
eat that with
finish those
chopsticks?
pieces, right? I actually wonder if this is a thing in other Asian countries too. Does this rule apply to you? Please let me know. Okay,
Now to think about this, he gave me a complex. So after seeing this, like I eat rice all the time, but I don't want to eat a ton of rice. And when I get down to the end of the bowl, when I have my chopsticks and I'm getting down to the bottom, like I don't want to pick up grain by grain. Like, but I also don't want to be disrespectful to Japanese, especially when I'm in their country. So this one is kind of a conundrum for me. It makes me a little bit nervous whenever I'm eating rice. I even get nervous in my own home when I'm doing it now. Let's get back into it.
let me know. Okay, so this isn't really a secret per se, but seems like nobody ever talks about it, so I thought I would fit this in this video. So we Japanese people don't really roll our eyes to express disgust, annoyance, or contempt. When I saw my American friend roll her eyes for the first time, I was like, what are you doing? Like, are you trying to make me laugh or something? Like, it just confused me. But anyway, did you know that this applies to text?
I love these
as well?
little
You
details.
guys
This is
know
the part that I
emoji,
really
right?
dig about
In
getting
English, this is
information.
kind of offensive and rude because it means you're rolling your eyes. Well, in Japanese, it doesn't carry a negative connotation like at all. If anything, it means you're thinking about something. Like, when you think about something, you kind of look up, right? Like,
That makes sense to me. I
so
always
we
wanted to
use
use it like that.
Hey, I'm so excited to see you tomorrow. By the way, I was wondering what you like to eat for dinner. kind of way. I've made this mistake so many times. So please don't get offended if your Japanese friend sends this.
So far, that hasn't
Did you
happened to
know
me
in
yet.
Japan, we don't have access to a lot of Western media. You can't even watch Bruno Mars performing on Grammys in Japan. What? But thanks to a
All right,
service like
he's getting into the
OTVN,
ads. I'll
my
stop it right
problem
here.
is gone.
All in all, this is like these little tidbits like kind of help me survive while I'm in Japan. It kind of gives me a little bit of anxiety at times, especially when it comes to the rules. Like the rice, that still messes with me. I'm not even playing. That kind of, I feel bad about that just because I want to respect the culture. Seeing the things with the schooling and how the men dress and the change in the uniforms, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's cool. But they really got to do something about how these girls are walking around in the winter. I know it's a hierarchy thing with men here in Japan culturally, but yo, y'all got to relax. The bathroom thing, well, I like it. Don't change it. I get why it gets kind of creepy, and that was my first thought too, but at the same time, it's such a brilliant invention. Anyway, I don't want this video to be too long. I want to stop it right here, and I might have to use Shun just a bit more just to kind of react to a few more things while we're in COVID right now. So hey, I hope you guys liked the video. I really dig his video. Go watch his channel. Dude is a really good talent, and he really does tell you a lot about Japan. It's really informative. Dope show, great personality. Way to go, dude. I like your stuff. Spend while I'm in Japan. Oh, and be kind to your neighbors all over the world.